Howdy, folks. It's the Creepy Kentuckian here with you from Dead Pit Radio. We have an interesting one that we're taking a look at today. There's lots of negativity about this when it debuted earlier this year, I think in October, on Paramount Plus. And it kind of surprised me, honestly, to see Paramount release physical copies of this movie. This was a direct to Paramount Plus prequel to the 2019 Pet Sematary remake. Pet Sematary Bloodlines, boys. Pet Sematary Bloodlines. This makes the fourth Pet Sematary movie. The original novel from 1983, Stephen King, one of his best. And man, when it comes to Pet Sematary movies, this is easily the worst. Easily the worst. Sometimes doing these online reviews and everything, occasionally, quite often actually, there's a split in the audience. Like half of the time people love it, the other half of the time it's a stinker, or vice versa, or whatever. Pet Sematary Bloodlines is one of those movies that pretty much is universally despised. You know, some of the most lenient horror movie reviewers reviewed this when Paramount Plus came out with it, and they were quite harsh on it, to say the least. And I did not see it, I didn't check it out, but Paramount Home Entertainment this past Tuesday released Pet Sematary Bloodlines on Blu-Ray and 4K. I have the Blu-ray edition here we're going to take a look at today. Dive into this movie, talk about this particular edition here, which has over 50 minutes of extra bonus material. And I'm going to let you guys know. And I'm going to answer the age-old question for you guys. Is dead better than watching this movie? Pet Sematary Bloodlines is set 20 years before the events in the original movie. Features young 20-year-old Judd Crandall, who along with his girlfriend decides to leave this small town of Ludlow, Maine. He wants to join the Peace Corps. Young Judd is a hippie. You know, he's just looking for adventure and whatever comes his way. Anyhow, a horrific accident keeps Judd in Ludlow. It all seemingly starts when an old friend of Judd's by the name of Timmy comes home from the war, and he is drastically changed. And now Crandall, along with a group of his friends, have teamed up together to find the origin of evil in the town of Ludlow, Maine. And they're trying to figure out how to stop the evil before the evil destroys the entire town of Ludlow. Really bizarre cast here. David Duchovny, Henry Thomas, Pam Grier, Samantha Mathis very briefly in this as well. Pet Sematary Bloodlines, guys, has too many problems to list, to be honest with you. There's actually not much right with this movie. From pretty much the get-go, the opening 5 minutes of the movie, it just has the most generic feel of any movie that I've seen in the last 3 or 4 years, honestly. It just feels like just shit. It almost seems like Paramount was like, we've got the rights to do another Pet Sematary movie. Let's just throw it out there. It's some stupid origin story about Judd Crandall that doesn't even, the timeline doesn't even add up. Right? So in this movie, Judd Crandall was like 20 years old in 1969. And in the 1989 movie, the Fred Gwynn character was at least in his 60s. Right? Isn't that right? Wouldn't he be at least 60? Anyway. Timeline doesn't make sense, but that's the least of this movie's problems. This movie is just fucking boring. Nothing really happens in this. There's an origin story that nobody gives a shit about. They promote it as the untold chapter of the Stephen King classic Pet Sematary. I can't figure out what the hell they're even talking about. Right? Does somebody in the chat know? I'm not a Stephen King aficionado, but let me know. Without going into great detail on this movie is awful. This is a one-time watch. If you're a mega fan of Pet Sematary, which I kind of am, you may want to check this out as a one-time watch. As far as purchasing this, like, I don't understand why anybody would want to go back and rewatch it. I mean, maybe in 5 or 10 years, a podcast or something, they'll get requested to go back and torture themselves, much like we do now. You know, patrons request us to watch really awful movies from back in the day. But anyway, Pet Sematary Bloodlines, no good. It's a brief movie, though. It's, around 81 minutes or so before the closing credits. But it does feel much longer because it's just so bad. Bad acting, bad cinematography, bad storytelling. It's just, I don't give a shit about anybody in this movie at all. David Duchovny, it's like he has given up on life. Henry Thomas is the same way. It's like, I'm here just working because I need to pay my mortgage. Or whatever the hell whatever they pay, their drug habit or whatever it is. It's like these guys are just showing up. They're just showing up. They have no interest in the subject. They're getting paid. That's all they care about. But Pet Sematary Bloodlines, no good, guys. This one came out on Tuesday from Paramount Home Entertainment. It does include 50 minutes of featurettes. I think it's 5 separate featurettes ranging from about 10 minutes apiece, something like that. I didn't watch any of them. The movie was enough for me. No good. This movie is no good. It does come with a slipcase, though, for everybody that wants to keep it slippy. You can do that with Pet Sematary Bloodlines. And it'll look real nice right next to your 2019 movie, which I'm not a fan of the 2019 movie. I think it's a piece of shit as well. But it is a damn modern classic compared to Pet Sematary Bloodlines. All right, guys, so that is it for the review. Pet Sematary Bloodlines is out now. You can check it out if you like. Be sure to check us out. We're over at deadpit.com.
Give us a thumbs up.
Up you butt.
Like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a fuck. If you do
I want you to. I don't care. Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that.
No, don't you dare touch it.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. And click that bell.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit radio shirts. You can get Last Out on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Dead Pit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows, fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.
We ain't